Can't Last, where we share ideas to help families tackle major issues. Unlike last week's issue, which was very heavy, I'm very excited that today we're actually talking about honeymoons and planning vacations. And with me today is Teresa Belcher, who's the founder of Honeymoon Islands. Thanks so much for being here, Teresa.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, well, I'm very excited. Obviously, I have a very personal interest in this conversation today. But I'm kind of wondering, like, the first question I have is, are there, spots that most people tend to go to for a honeymoon, for example?
Well, yeah, you have your classic and you have your up-and-coming trends. The classics are always going to be there: Hawaii, Caribbean, Tahiti. I'm finding now that most people are wanting to steer away from just sitting on the beach and doing nothing.
Yeah.
They want to kind of do a multi-dimensional honeymoon and compare that to like Belize or Tahiti or Bali, Belize, Costa Rica. South Africa is very popular with the wineries paired up with with the Seychelles. So I think people are wanting a little bit of mixture of culture, city, mountain, beach. They want it all in one destination.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I remember when I went to Belize, one of the things I liked is we did a couple of days at the beach, but then we went into the mountains and, got to enjoy that.
That's my point. People just don't want to sit on the beach anymore and do the traditional, let me relax and do nothing.
Right.
They want to, zip line and hike the volcanoes. They kind of want excitement, but yet they want relaxation and pampering. So a little mixture of everything all in one destination is really the trend now.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Now, when you're helping people kind of plan this, what are some of the questions that you ask them that you need to know about who they are, what their interests are?
Well, exactly. I need to get to know them. So first off, I need to know their wedding date, when they want to depart, what airport they want to fly from, how long they want to be gone, what is the budget they're working with, what do they want to do during the day. I need them to paint the picture of what's in their mind so I can match that up with the options that they're going to have. So I need to know what they're going to do during the day. What do you want to do at night? Do you want something low-key? Do you want to be entertained?
Right.
Obviously, I need to know how long do you want to be on a flight? I mean, do you mind being on a plane 16 hours to go halfway around the world? Do you have that kind of time? Or do you want to just kind of do something 4 or 5 hours away?
Right. I mean, that was the one thing that I really hated the most. I loved going to Hawaii for my first honeymoon, but that flight really took its toll.
It's a long one. It's 12 hours from this area.
Right.
Yeah, and Tahiti and Maldives and South Africa and Fiji, they're even further.
Right. So you and I were talking about this off air for a little bit. I mean, it seems like, people may have these great dreams. I think we said it was like a champagne taste on a beer budget.
Yeah.
Right? So what do you want people to think about in terms of formulating a realistic budget?
A realistic budget. Okay, let's be real. No one's really, for the first time, planning their honeymoon, just like this is their first time planning a wedding. So you always are going to get sticker shock of the cost of the wedding and the cost of the honeymoon. So take what you want it to be in terms of your pocketbook and add 50% to that. And chances are you might get in the same ballpark of what your dreams are.
Okay.
So everyone always under budgets for what their dreams and expectations are. So take realistically what you can afford, what you want the cost to be, and explain to me what your dreams and wishes are. And chances are 70-80% of the people have already under budget what that's going to cost. So just always know you're going to always under budget because you've never planned the dream honeymoon before.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because I think this is one thing that I love about you. You said, what are you going to remember, right? And I can't remember which flowers I had, and they lasted, 2 days, and then they died.
Right.
And I can sort of remember the menu for sure, but again, there's nothing that everybody ate it, it got consumed, there's nothing to remember that menu by. And meanwhile, it's the honeymoon that I really remember the most.
Right. And so when you're designing your honeymoon,
Right.
everybody focuses on price. How much is it going to cost me? What's it going to cost me? How much does that cost? Well, if I upgrade, how much more money is that going to be? Is it really worth it? At the end of the day, what will you remember? 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, what will you remember? The price tag or what you paid?
Right. I don't remember what I paid for my honeymoon. Right? I don't remember how much we paid on that trip to Belize, but I will always remember that. And
do you remember where you stayed in Belize?
Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola's resort, which is beautiful.
A fabulous property. It's one of the properties I recommend to people when they go to Belize. So you did good.
Yeah.
And so that's just it. If you buy up, it may not meet your budget, but it's definitely going to meet your expectations. And again, what will you remember? Will you remember the price tag or will you remember the experience?
So, I mean, I think that a lot of people, they don't think about calling an actual human being, right? Because they want to save money or whatever, and they think they're going to do it themselves. And it's actually very hard to track down a live human being that has your kind of experience. But what is the benefit, would you say, of having someone, work with an individual?
Right. Okay. So I've been in the travel business for 32 years.
Wow.
Half of my job is to travel around the world and find the most romantic places on planet Earth. I'm still in search of. Okay. So the person who's planning that dream honeymoon, they don't have the experience that I do.
Because you've actually been to most of these spots.
I've been to almost every property on my website and then some.
Do you need an assistant? Because I
know.
use that job.
I know. So I've got the travel knowledge.
Right.
I know my product, and I know the ability to match the client's needs with the products that's out there.
Okay.
The real challenge is to match the budgets.
Right.
Right? Another benefit is we have connections and a relationship with most of these hoteliers around the world. And so when you're on Expedia.com and you're on the hotel's website, if you book it on your own, you're on your own to fix your own problems.
Oh, good point.
If you book it with Honeymoon Islands, then we have a 24-hour customer service department that's open 24/7. So while you're traveling, if you get a hiccup, you've got somebody there to help you through the process.
Like if you hate the hotel, like you got to get me out of here, they can actually call you.
They can
to
call
fix it.
our 800 number that's a customer service. It works anywhere on planet Earth 24/7.
Wow.
And they're there to fix the hiccup and overcome the hiccup. If you book it online yourself, you're on your own to fix your own problem. You booked it, and then when you're on your own shopping and saying, you don't know what you're looking at. You're just relying on the website's information.
Right.
If you have a professional who's done this for 32 years, you've got our relationships with the hotelier and you've got our knowledge of the product.
I have to tell you, I do remember this about my first honeymoon. My ex-husband took care of it. That's not the reason I divorced him. But he did his best. But again, online, didn't know what he was doing. And that first night when we arrived in Maui, it turned out to be a dump of a hotel. The pictures online were really pretty, but they must have been from 10 years earlier. And the hotel had really gone downhill, and the hotel sucked. I was crying that first night. I was like, I can't spend my honeymoon here. And so we did upgrade. We had to, find a new hotel and move.
Right.
But we had to take care of it all on our own.
Because he was on his own to plan his own trip.
Right.
And so that's the benefit of working with a travel professional. Let the professionals do their job. That's what we're in business for.
Right. And it's the last thing you want to deal with on your honeymoon. I mean,
you don't have time.
Right. If you don't like the restaurant that you booked, okay, I need a new recommendation. Let's
exactly
get it done and move on.
Yeah. So that's what we're in business for.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Yeah, because there is a value to what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So you also do after the honeymoon, like some people do. You said they do anniversary trips.
Yeah. So usually what happens is it starts with pop the question travel.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Some people will come to me and say, you planned a friend's honeymoon and I want to get engaged and I want to do it overseas. So I'll plan a pop the question, and then we'll plan their honeymoon. And then after they get back from their honeymoon, they'll do future anniversary travels.
Nice.
They'll do, once they find out the baby's on the way, we'll do a baby moon. And a baby moon's the trip, the last hurrah vacation before that baby lifestyle comes into play.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember you bringing that up, and I was like, oh, I did that, but I didn't know that's what it was called, right?
Every vacation, put a moon after the name of it, okay?
Yeah.
So second honeymoon, third honeymoon, baby honeymoon, family moon. Family moons are very...
Yeah, what's a family moon?
Family moon is popular because, unfortunately, divorce happens,
Yeah.
right? We all know that. So after the divorce, you fall in love and meet again, such as yourself, and you remarry. And a lot of people do destination weddings. They tend not to do traditional the second time around.
Okay, I see.
So they'll fly to an island or Italy or wherever on planet Earth, and they'll do a family moon, and they want their kids to be a part of it. And then they'll invite their parents to vacation. A family moon is a wedding in a destination other than your traditional town, and everybody goes on vacation and is part of the actual wedding.
So, but then the honeymoon is with your whole family?
Yes.
Uh-huh, I see.
That's what we call family moon.
Okay.
It's because the family is involved. The kids, the grandkids, the grandmas, the moms, everybody's involved. And you go to, for an example, an island, and you get married and everybody's on vacation and enjoys the entire atmosphere around that wedding.
Nice. So what are some popular spots for like a family type of vacation?
Usually Caribbean, family-friendly, that allows children, because when you're planning a honeymoon, you tend to stay away from the families.
Right.
Right? You tend to gear toward couples only or adults only to stay away from the family. So a family moon is actually kind of opposite. You're going to want to go to a family-friendly property.
So there's a difference. There's some properties that are just for singles or just for couples, and then there's other ones that are just for families?
Well, not just for families. There are adults-only properties that are more romance-friendly.
I see.
Right? And then there are other resorts that allow everyone. And the other resorts that allow everyone has like a kiddie club, a nanny service, a teen, for an example, beaches in Turks and Caicos and also Jamaica. They own Sandals. And Sandals is an all-inclusive, couples-only resort for honeymooners or destination weddings. No, it can't. It's not just adults. It's couples only, man and a woman in each room.
Okay.
So those people get married and go to Sandals on their honeymoon, and they live their lives. They get pregnant, have kids, and they want to come back and have the same experience, but this time they got 3 kids in tow.
It's very different.
Yes. So they created something called Beaches.
Okay.
It's all-inclusive, family-friendly, and you can get married there free of charge as long as you stay 7 nights or more.
Okay.
And they have Sesame Street Big Bird characters. They have like little kiddie clubs. They have nanny services. They also have something for teens, like they have a tween club.
Oh, wow.
And then they have a teen disco. They have a pizza bar. Everything for kids. Everything is very family-friendly. They also have adult-only restaurants and family-friendly restaurants, all in the same resort. Like Beaches, Turks and Caicos has like 9 restaurants.
Oh, wow.
And if you're there 7 days. So I think 2 of the 9 restaurants are adults only, and the rest of the 7 are family-friendly.
They should have planes that come that way, right?
I know, right?
Adults only planes.
Well, that would be nice. But yes, so that's what a family moon is all about.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a short break.
Okay.
And then we will be right back.
Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Maybe you should go to your shelter and get a mature dog who will make your blues disappear. How's that for tricks? I got picked. Wow.
Welcome back to Making It Last. I'm your host, Regina DeMeo, and with me today is Teresa from Honeymoon Islands, and we're talking about great vacations that she's planned for people. Thank you so much for being here, Teresa.
Well, thank you.
So, I know the crazy stuff that I see from the divorce side, right? Like the vacations people have gone on, the kind of money that they spend. I also went to school with a bunch of trust fund babies, so I've seen the wild side, and I'm sure you have too.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we can talk about some of the craziest things you've pulled together for people.
Well, we have a concierge service.
Okay.
And our concierge service can arrange almost, if you can dream it, we will create it, is our philosophy.
Okay.
So our concierge service is designed for those that buy their travel arrangements with us. We can kind of then go over the top with any of the final touches, such as making dinner arrangements at special restaurants, or some of the unique things we've done is we had some high-profile clients from Hollywood, and we shut down the Sistine Chapel for them. They paid a block of time.
Wow.
And they had the money, they had the name, they had the fame, and they shut down the Sistine Chapel, and they were able to tour the Sistine Chapel all by themselves, privately. So that's one thing that we can arrange. Another thing is a pop the question, travel.
Okay.
A groom came to me and said, I want to pop the question to my fiance.
Was it Stephen?
No, unfortunately, I haven't talked to Stephen yet.
Okay.
So you have to give him my number.
I will.
But he lived in New York. She lived in L.A. She was a food critic for the L.A. Times. And I got to know them personally. Like, I drew out of him her likes and dislikes. And we designed something called a blinded dinner at the St. Regis Putamita, Mexico.
Oh, wow.
And what that is we bought a chef's table in the kitchen of the resort at a fine dining restaurant. And they sit down at the chef's table, and it's a 7-course gourmet dinner, and they're blindfolded. And they both have to guess the spices and the flavors that they're eating. And then when it came to dessert time, that's when the surprise happened. Everybody took off their blindfolds, and the diamond ring was in a box right on her dessert tray. And he got on his hands and knees and proposed.
Oh, my God.
And another pop the question was, again, the groom, it's usually the groom's idea. He wants to do something unusual that she'll remember. So I found out from him that she loved champagne. Her dream was to go to France and drink champagne.
Okay.
So we designed, it was during the month of April, which is a tricky weather time.
Right.
We designed a hot air balloon over the Champagne region. And he proposed in the hot air balloon over the Champagne wineries. And so that was very memorable. But that can be tricky because you've got to have great weather. So you've got to have a plan B if it didn't work. But luckily, plan A worked for us on that one.
Oh, wow. So. That's really amazing. I mean, it's so nice to have.
Oh, and that's what a travel professional does.
Right.
I mean, our concierge service can arrange anything from tea times on the golf course, spa reservations, anything that is beyond just airfare and hotel. Okay, now that you've booked your airfare and hotel, okay, what do you want to do while you're there?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, like everybody can probably get online and somehow book a plane and some hotel. But being able to talk to a human being and say, what restaurants do you recommend? And what do you think about this idea with popping the question? I mean, guys act all funny and weird, and I get it. I do get it, because there's a lot of pressure. And sometimes they really don't have anybody else to talk to about what they're planning because they want to keep it a secret. Right. So it's great that they could have you as a resource to say, well, this is what she likes, and this is what I'm thinking, and, am I in the right path, or,
Well, that's the key to a successful pop the question that's going to be memorable, is getting to know him, getting to know her, and figuring out how we can mesh it together.
Yeah. No, I mean, because you will always remember that moment. I mean, I'll tell you, this is funny, like from 15 years ago, however long it was, when my first husband popped the question, he did go out of his way to try and do something that was very sweet, and it was like, we're in Florida, there, you know, we went to like Key Biscayne, and the sun was setting, except there's like a ton of mosquitoes that came out during sunset. And I remember just as he was asking the question, this one mosquito landed on his cheek, and I'm so focused on the mosquito, I'm not listening to what's going on. And then he pops the question, and I slapped him across the face.
Oh my, that's memorable.
It's memorable, but not the way I think he wanted it to be. Anyway, I mean, we laugh about that now.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah, it would be great to have somebody that you can say, this is kind of what I'm thinking, and what do you think? And maybe you would say, you know what, when you do it on the sunset, you know, there's going to be some mosquitoes, you may want to be in the car.
Exactly. Well, I'll have to remember that. That hasn't happened to me yet, but I'll have to remember your story.
Yeah. No, I mean, you learn sometimes from your mistakes more than anything else.
Yeah.
But, you know, so I mean, I love your job. I think that's amazing. You've gotten to travel to a lot of these places. What are some of your favorite places?
Oh, wow. You know, what I have favorite now is what I didn't have favorite then, and it constantly keeps changing, and it depends on who I'm with, what I'm doing, and the purpose of the trip. But I'm a Caribbean girl. My heart's in the Caribbean. I could live in the Caribbean. Probably half.
Thank you, is that?
Yes. I mean, I've traveled the world. I've been to Thailand. I've been to China, New Zealand, Fiji, Tahiti. I love all those places. But somehow my heart is gravitated back to the tradition of Caribbean, the whole flair of the romance and the Caribbean Sea and the culture and the music and the whole reggae and the jerk chicken and the curry this. Oh, it's just the culture of the Caribbean is just something very sits well with me. I feel like I'm at home. But then I go to the islands so much during the year for my job.
Right.
That when I want a vacation, a real vacation where I'm not working, I don't want to meet any hotel general managers.
Right.
I don't want to see 5 rooms at the hotel. I want to go on vacation. My dream vacation is to go to Europe in the wintertime and walk the cobblestone streets when it's cold. My best memory is going to Prague in November.
I love Prague.
You love Prague?
Yes, but I went in the summer.
Oh, see, okay, not.
Okay.
Because to me, summer is hot, it's humid.
Oh, tons of tourists.
And you're walking the streets. I imagine going to Europe in the summertime, like walking the streets of Washington, D.C. in August. Hot, humid, miserable. It takes all your energy out, and you just want to be in air conditioning. For me, I want to put on my gloves, my hat, my coat, and walk the streets. And it was snowing big snowflakes.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't sticking to the ground, which made it that much better because I didn't bring snow boots. But it was just something magical walking the cobblestone streets in the snow.
Oh, and that bridge.
Oh, Charles Bridge.
Yes.
With Prague Castle in the background.
And the clock. I remember the clock.
So that to me is a real passionate vacation. And then I went back to my little bed and breakfast called Hotel Uraka, 6 rooms and a honeymoon suite. And I got the honeymoon suite and it had a fireplace in there.
Oh.
It's just the ultimate.
You know, that brings up a good question, because what is the difference between these honeymoon suites versus like a regular suite? What extra things do they have sometimes?
Oh, it depends, but the honeymoon suite is usually larger.
Okay.
And they have more upgraded furniture and upgraded amenities with a prime location in the hotel with a better view.
Oh, I see.
But every hotel's honeymoon suite is different from another, so it depends on the honeymoon suite you're talking about, the hotel. So,
okay.
But my honeymoon suite at Hotel Uraka in Prague was just, it was uniquely designed. The walls were made out of wood, built into the wall in a very unique way. I've never seen it. And the strands of the lights it was just so uniquely designed, like a log cabin feel.
Oh, wow.
In the middle of the winter with a fireplace in Prague.
Huh. No, I mean, I love Europe. I have to tell you, so I don't know if you know, but so my parents met on a cruise ship, and I'm their love child, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think as a result, I really don't like the Caribbean, and I definitely don't like cruises. I went on one, thanks to my fiance and his family, and all right, that was quite the experience. I got seasick, hated it.
I get seasick too.
Yeah, I didn't realize that those cruise ships actually, they do sway.
Oh yeah, and they have stabilizer, but they sway.
Yeah, it didn't work for me. I had to be on medicine the whole time. But but Europe, it's just, I don't know, it's that old feel, and if you're gonna go, it's only 5 hours, right? 5 or 6 hours.
5, 6, 7, 8 hours. It depends on where in Europe you go.
That's true.
But coming back to that cruise ship, I can't find anything very romantic about being on a large cruise ship with 4,000 people. But if you were to rent a private yacht.
Yeah, and I don't get seasick on yachts. Funny.
So a private yacht experience is, it's just you and the crew.
Well, I know my former in-laws, they would sometimes go to Greece, and they'd have their own captain, and with a couple of friends, they'd split the cost, and they would go island hopping along, the different islands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have clients? Yeah.
Yep, we do anything. Most of our cruises are more private yachts as opposed to cruise ships.
Yeah.
But we can do a cruise ship if that's what your idea of a perfect honeymoon would be.
It's not my idea at all. No. But they do make it easy, right? Like if people wanted to do a wedding on a cruise ship.
Yeah, you can do a wedding on a cruise ship. It used to be years ago where it wasn't legal because it was over international water, but now they have made it legal. They've changed the laws. So they make it legal based on where the cruise ship is registered, like a Bahamian registry. Then you have to follow the laws of Bahamas for your wedding.
Yeah, that's the one downside, I think, because if I had my way, I would, of course, get married abroad, because, whatever. I find that much more romantic, but there's all these licensing requirements and extra hoops you have to get before you can do that. Mm-hmm. And you would obviously warn people.
Yeah. We help them through the process. If they're planning a destination wedding, we help hold their hand through the process, and we're the liaison between the on-site wedding planner and here in America, we help everyone plan destination weddings. It's part of our services. Yeah.
Okay. So if you had to give somebody any final tips when they're trying to plan this big event, what are some final tips you would give?
I would probably say sit down and write a T chart.
A what?
A T chart. Take a piece of paper and write a T on it.
Okay.
On the left side, his name. On the right side, her name. And write down every priority of what your dream honeymoon consists of.
Okay.
And then take everything and prioritize it of what's priority versus what you could live without.
Uh-huh.
And then discuss a budget.
Right.
Discuss what you want to do during the day, how you see yourself in the evening, and talk about the many options that you envision, and then call me and let me know your ideas. Okay. So I can either say, well, that's not realistic, here's a better fit for what you're trying to do, or yes, okay, that's possible, let's see what we can do to make it happen.
Okay.
So when you're writing your T chart, always keep in mind if your budget doesn't match your expectations, what are you willing to give up?
I would say guests, right? You don't need to feed 200 people. I'd rather feed 100 people and have the dream honeymoon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what are you, and you know what, good point, because I find that so many people are spending 30, 50, 60, 80 on up, thousands of dollars for a wedding.
Right.
And the wedding, let's get real, a wedding is a party that the bride and groom traditionally pays for to feed everyone.
Right.
It's a party for everyone.
Right.
So if you're spending $30, $40, $50, $60, $80,000 on a wedding, if not more, and you come to me and you've got $5,000 for a budget on a honeymoon for an entire week to eat, drink, and be merry, okay, the scales are not balanced on that.
No.
So we have to be real. And we haven't even talked about what you want your dream honeymoon to be. You're just telling me you're spending $50,000 on a wedding and $5,000 on a week honeymoon?
Right.
Okay, so that scale needs to be a little more tipped on a balanced level.
Sense.
Yeah.
So if someone wanted to contact you for further information, how would they do that?
I think check out the website, which is honeymoonislands.com, or you can call me at 703-753-8115. We're also on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on Making It Last.